Sorry about that, guys. Phone is falling. There it is. All right, Mike, let me get you in here. Where's the big dog right there? Oh, shoot.
Hey,
There
hey,
it is.
what's going on, man?
Not much, man. You're good? You're good?
I'm good. Long time no see.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Oh, so good to see you. Good to hear from you, man. Oh, this is good. Lori turned out some gems right here, right there. Come
Some
on
big
with it.
ones, man. Glad to see
There
you're
you
doing
go.
well.
Thanks, brother. Thanks, man. Yeah, let me just give you a little love before we get started. Everyone, this is Mike. Mike and I went to Laurier together. Mike was dominating the entire campus. I just followed him behind and tried to pick up his scraps because my guy's doing his thing. No. Mike, great person, great human, business guy, very smart. BBA, correct?
Yep, correct.
All right, so I did the BBA. We're doing the Golden Hawks proud. Now, Mike, I'm not gonna lie. I don't know where I put the questions, but I think we're gonna have a nice organic conversation. Does that sound okay with me?
Let's do it. Of course, no
All right,
problem.
perfect. So let's just hit it. Like, let's just talk about the elephant in the room. Talk to me a little bit about uh, the digital asset company. Like, I have so many questions, and I'd love for you to, kind of dive in. And I see you got the swag going right there. So yeah,
Yeah,
fill me in.
yeah. Where do I begin? I mean, to get started, Contango Digital Assets, first and foremost, is a venture capital company. So we invest in early stage crypto projects, pretty much broad spectrum across what we call Web3, or the kind of digital asset space. We also do some advisory services, some marketing for projects. And we also have an incubator called Blockscale Studio. And so this is where we bring in very early stage businesses that are looking for more support, more advice, and really bring them through kind of a roadmap to get them through their first raise, their second raise, and to their kind of public launch of their token, and then kind of really help them from there on out. But to date, Contango's invested in, I believe, 38 companies. I think we've deployed about $4.5 million. And we've been growing really quickly. It's good to see the team is now up to 10 people. And so we're pretty global, actually. People from Australia, the United States, Belgium, UK. So the team is doing very well. Started with my co-founder Josh Field from Western, just onward and upward. We're really excited for the next leg up.
That's sweet. That's made my mind's blown. I got so much to unpack there. So as I'm sure you know, I'm a real estate guy. I have my real estate investment company as well. So I think where we kind of connect, obviously the investment part, but building that system, like you and your co-founder taking it from two people and scaling it up. I'd love for you to touch on what processes did you put in place, or what did you have to do to kind of scale? Because I feel that's everyone's problem. Everyone has the idea, they get it off the road, but how do you get that idea scalable? Like you say, you're worldwide. We got like $4 million invested. How do we get from that beginning stage to scale it to where we are?
Yeah, I mean, it's a really, really good question. It all happened pretty organically and pretty quickly. I think we responded to, one was a need in the market, for some Canadians to come in and kind of disrupt the venture capital space. But essentially what we did, and I'll tell you kind of the strategy that we took when we got into the industry, and I think this was part of our success. We really took an audit of who we knew in the industry, who we didn't know, and who we wanted to know. And we really made it our mission from the get-go to get as well connected as possible, with as many strategic partners as we possibly could. And now we've kind of got this robust network of development agencies, marketing agencies, PR, launch pads, centralized exchanges, market makers, liquidity providers. And I think that's been really helpful for us in, one, attracting great deal flow. So attracting companies to the table that would want to work with Contango. And two, it's just made ourselves very valuable to the industry. And so I think where we came from was trying to provide value first, and letting the long tail of that come back to us kind of in spades. It's kind of that law of reciprocity. When you provide value first, it tends to come back to you. And so, you know, we did that. And as there was need for new, you know, personnel on the team, we hired for it, and, you know, we grew quickly. But, you know, Izzy, one thing I would say is, you know, our industries are not very, very different. And, you know, I love talking to people in real estate because they understand the value of scarcity. And really, you know, where crypto gets its value is through its scarcity, specifically Bitcoin, right? Whenever I'm talking to real estate groups, I always tend to liken Bitcoin to the most valuable digital real estate that you could buy, right? There's this scarce amount of Bitcoin in the world. And it's this network that everybody now wants real estate on. And so every Bitcoin is 1/21 millionth of the Bitcoin network. And so if you're buying real estate, you're buying it because of its scarcity and because the price would probably increase. And the same thing happens with cryptocurrency. The more people that want to use the network, the more people that want access to the network, the higher the value. And so, you know, I don't think our industries are too far off.
No, I think I don't think so either. I feel like, and I'll be honest with you, I know just enough about crypto to be dangerous, so I would never give anyone any sort of advice or anything. But I love the idea of how it is. Like I got a little bit in crypto, I got a little, but not enough to, you know, to do nothing too special. But I feel like, you know, if you're going to take that investment strategy and to a level where you and your company have gone, I feel like there's so many similarities. And when you talk about scarcity, I feel like that's a really, really good intersection between real estate and crypto, because they're not building any more land. And on the crypto space, there's a limit, there's a finite number of Bitcoin. So if we can both build off that, we see why the asset class is so interesting there. But I did want to kind of go back and highlight one thing. You really talked about when you were growing. All I heard was networking. All I heard was, you know, building those relationships, building that out, and even the thing you added, adding value first. I've heard that a lot, even through my mentors in the real estate space. Would you mind touching on that? How do you add value first before, you know, you're asking or pulling? Yeah, a little bit in that.
So I think this came from an idea of, you know, trial and error at first. When we first came into this space, we wanted to do everything. We wanted to be marketers. We wanted to help with promotion. We wanted to help write articles and you know, and PR. And so we kind of positioned ourselves as a marketing company. And then, you know, what happened was, as we started to get more and more companies in our portfolio, we started to realize it was untenable to continue to scale the investment side of the business alongside the marketing side of the business, because then we'd need to bring in a lot more talent. And so what we said was, you know, what's one of the most valuable things that you can do that at the same time is one of the lowest you know, effort outputs? And you know, one of those things is a connection. You know, there's a lot of companies that they know exactly what road path they need. They know exactly, you know, what partners they want to partner with, but they don't necessarily have that foot in the door, or they don't necessarily have that connection. And so what we realized is, being a nucleus of some sorts, when portfolio companies come to us and they say, hey, we want marketing, we want you know, we want connections with developers, we want connections with liquidity providers and market makers. Well, we can't do that all ourselves, but we do know a partner that can help you with that, right? And so we would try and be the first ones to say, hey, let me get you connected with this person, let me get you connected with this person. And I think this is such a valuable point to touch on within the crypto space specifically, because really the reason crypto has value, one is because of its scarcity, but two is because of the network effects. And so the network effect of crypto is what gives it that value. And so we applied the same principles to our business. The larger our network, the more value we're going to have to our portfolio companies, and the more portfolio companies are going to want to reach out to us for investment. So that's really the strategy we took. So as I said, we've really built up a pretty robust arsenal of strategic partners, and you know, we're ready to deploy capital and kind of sweat equity when needed.
Love it. Oh my gosh, everyone's gonna have to pause that screenshot or rewind. Like, that was so good. Like, adding that immense value. Like, you brought it up here. Like, you know, your net worth is your network. sorry, your network is your net worth. Or even on the do that on the reverse side, it's the same thing. And I feel like your company's done such a great job of putting that into action. And I've been able to see it. Like, I'm not even in the crypto space, and I'm like, shoot, I gotta talk to Mike about getting this going, right? So I can just see what you guys are doing, and that's great. I'm not gonna lie, I've been pulling some of the things you've done on IG and on LinkedIn, try to work that into my business and bringing that out there. Even this week, I found just adding value has, like, will pay you dividends on the back end. Like, I was talking to a seller, doing my calls. I was talking with him, doesn't want to sell, had no part of it, just talking to him. And I found out, like, he was having some zoning issues. And I knew there was someone at the zoning office. And just from talking, I knew, like, we're kind of close. I said, yo, call zoning and ask for this guy specifically. He texted me back 2 days. He's like, bro, I figured it out. I really appreciate that. I'm not selling my house, but I'd like to be in your referral program. So I'm like, that's great, because like on the phone he was like so stale. He's like, don't talk, like nothing. So I can just feel that value add was great there. So that's perfect. I almost want to just title this like, yo, this is the value add. This is how you get it done there.
100%.
But I did want to switch lanes just a little bit. Have you read the book Who Not How?
I haven't. No. Tell me about
That's a good book. So Who Not How is all about bringing more who's to your team. As an entrepreneur, business owner, or even like a high level executive, you can't do it all your own. Like, everyone likes that, oh, I'm grinding, I'm working. Yeah, that's cool. But you don't get evaluated for how hard you work. You get evaluated on your results. So one of the main concepts of Who Not How is bringing good high level who's on your team to help you get to where you are. So when you started your company, it was 2 people. How did you hire out, or what were you looking for to bring, experience and valuable who's onto your team to help you guys grow?
I think that's actually a really good point. And kind of before I talk about that, I want to just touch on what you just said, who not how, right? I think there's something to be said for being a key person of influence in your industry. You don't have to know everything about everything, but if you can be somebody that people turn to for advice in your specific industry, more often than not, opportunities come your way, right?
Yeah.
And so it's less outbound pushing for activity, and it's more inbound accepting opportunities and offers as they come. So one thing that as of recently, specifically, I've been trying very hard to do is be very active on social. Do as many of these kind of engagements as possible, kind of get the name face out there a little bit, and become known as almost one of those key people of industry, of influence in the industry. And I think, that's one area that both myself, Josh, and our CMO, Grady, are all working towards, is creating those personal brands alongside the Contango brand. Because at the end of the day, people don't buy brands because of the brand, or necessarily because of the logo or kind of what that brand means, but they buy it because of the people behind it, right? And so, especially in the venture capital space, being an opinion leader and being somebody that people can turn to for advice, it all funnels down into your business as opposed to the business funneling up to you, right?
Nice.
So we've kind of taken that approach and tried to be more active ourselves within the community, tried to never say no to an opportunity, and to just take every advantage of kind of just speaking the good word of crypto to some extent. The question you asked was kind of about staffing or sourcing talent, right? How do you source that talent?
Yeah.
The great thing about crypto is it's so damn collaborative. There's just so much opportunity to work on different things, to meet new people. You join a Discord, you join a Telegram, you connect with people from all over the world. And I think that's one stark difference between what we would call Web 3 and traditional kind of Web 2. Web 2, think about it like the FANG companies, Apple, Amazon, Facebook, If you work for one of those companies, that's all you're doing, right? That's your job. In crypto, people tend to wear many hats. People tend to be, a Telegram moderator. They're working on a side project. They have this full-time gig that they're doing. And it's very collaborative in the sense that sometimes I could be working on something and I could be working on a totally different business, but those two things would add value to each other because of the network effect, right, of the space. And
Yeah,
so
yeah, yeah.
we have a few employees that have launched projects that are currently co-founders as well of separate projects, but it's no skin off our back because that helps us as well, right? It helps to bring new people into the community. It helps to build reputation for Contango. It helps to give us that in with different layer one protocols, for example. And so we don't look at that as a negative. We look at that as a positive. And I would say, yeah, we source talent from kind of within the crypto industry, and we've been very lucky so far. We've really had no turnover, have grown from 2 people to 10 people in 1 year, and
Nice.
we're just continuing to try and scale as quick as possible.
Boy, I like it there. You touched on something in that the blurb you gave there about your mindset. And there's I'm sure you've heard the scarcity and the growth mindset. And you were just saying, crypto, very collaborative. You have people working on different stuff at the same time. Maybe I'm working here, Telegram, and here. And if I bring it to real estate, maybe I'm working on a flip project with someone as well as a buy and hold situation there. Instead of being like, no, I only do this, or I can't help you because I'm doing this, that collaboration really fosters that growth mindset. And I can see now why you were able to go from 2 to 10, put $4 million worth of capital out there, and continue to grow this brand to something special. This whole growth mindset, I don't think it gets talked about enough because, again, we work in industries with finite resources. So everyone's like, gimme, 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 gimme. I want my piece and I want to hold it like myself. But,
Yeah,
both of us were like, nah, let's all collab on all this and
yeah.
let's spread that all out. So I think that's a huge takeaway. And I'm glad that you get it. And I'm glad you were able to take it from a crypto perspective. So, maybe some of my audience, real estate wise, can, say, oh, that's like a really good way to put it. And maybe vice versa there. So that's huge. That's huge there.
Let me pile on that for a second because
Yeah, yeah.
you hit on a really good point, this growth mindset. And I think that's one kind of I would call it a keynote or a keystone factor of crypto is the industry is growing so fast that right now people aren't looking at it as in order to gain user adoption, you need to steal from somebody else. There is so much opportunity. The cryptocurrency asset space is one, the fastest growing technology of all time by user adoption. So it's growing at twice the pace that the internet grew at its peak year over year growth. The
Big
internet
fan.
grew at 63% per year. I think from I can't remember the dates, but in the early 2000s, it was growing at 63% a year over year user growth.
Yeah.
Now, Bitcoin is growing at 113% per year, almost double in terms of user growth. So
Yeah.
one, the fastest growing asset on earth in terms of user adoption.
Yeah.
2, it's the fastest growing asset on earth in terms of price. So year over year, for over a decade, Bitcoin's grown on average of 200% per year. So there is no asset class in the world that can provide the amount of upside potential, but also the speed of technological growth that the crypto industry is providing.
Yeah.
So people are looking at it right now. New talent is flooding into the space and new users are flooding into the space. So one, you're not competing in a talent pool for finite resources. And 2, you're not competing for finite resources on the user base. So truly, you're not stealing from Peter to give to Paul. You're growing an entire ecosystem
Yeah.
that will eventually take over the rest of the world, that will eat the world, just like software ate the world, just like mobile phones ate the world, just like internet ate the world. Cryptocurrency will eat the world.
I like that. I like that. Man, that is a great way to describe that, the whole growth mindset there. And man, we might have to take this show on the road, telling people like I really do like I feel so strongly about the whole gimme gimme because I'll be honest with you, being transparent, when I got into real estate, I was like, okay, shoot, I have to do this all by myself. I have to get as much under me because I got to do it. And then getting a little into it, you're like, oh, this whole growth thing, that's the way to grow. You can't
Yeah.
do this. So that was crazy there. One last thing I wanted to touch on before I let you go. What are the plans? Like, what are you looking to do maybe by the end of this year, or let's say 5 years into the future when we go back to Laurier for our reunion? What are you going to tell the boys?
Well, there's some big things in the works for Contango right now. I
Okay.
give everything up, but one thing that I can say is we are raising our kind of flagship fund right now. So this is going to be a $10 million 5-year closed fund. We're in the process right now. So if you know LP investors that might be interested, we're looking to raise this fund. We're building into our model what we call hackathons. Hacking events for developers to start bringing new development talent into the space, and then also to bring in some new early stage deal flow for Contango and for Blockscale. And we're also building a pretty cool piece of software. I can't tell you too much about it.
This guy.
It's going to be a very valuable piece of software for the industry as a whole. I think, there's some good things to come in 2022 for Contango.
Okay, you heard it here first. My boy's doing his thing out there. That's all, man. That fires me up to hear the boy just like you, like, we're doing big things. 2022 is a year. Forget COVID. Forget all that. Like, I'm sorry for everyone who got sick, but forget all that. We are still growing. Like the mindset's there, and I love that. Especially we're not even in like the same industry, but we have the same mindset to push things, to their limit there. So that's awesome. I love it, guys. You should be excited.
Hey, let me pose the same question to you. I know you got big things planned for 2022. What's next on the docket for you?
Shoot, boy, listen up. So 2022 is going to be a sweet year. So Isaiah Henry, we're doubling down on the first position real estate company, but we're involving a lot of different investors. We've already been working with some investment partners. We have two streams. We have like private lending stream as well as a joint venture stream, which is great if you're looking for, short-term fast money, or you'd like to look for that generational wealth growth model there. We're offering both to our investment partners, and I'm super excited about it. We're constantly looking for deals. I literally just came off the phone doing a walkthrough with one of my realtors in the Sudbury area, so that was super exciting. Might have a deal coming out soon, so just let it come out there right there. But it's great. No, like, I'm so excited to work with some more investment partners. I have a couple speaking engagements that we're putting on this year. We want to get out there and, like you said, add some more value, give some more value to the people. I'm not here for the money. Like, I'm not here for, like, don't get me wrong, like, we're trying to be profitable, but I'm not trying to nickel and dime. Like, I'm not trying to pull 5, 10, like, we're not trying to do that. Like, we're trying to build wealth within our community, as well as provide high quality housing solutions to the people that we work with there. So yeah, big year. I'm excited. It's going to be I don't care what industry, crypto or real estate. We're going to have a big year, aren't we?
Amen.
I love it. I love it. Okay, Mike, before you go, let the people know where they can find about you. Drop all the socials, everything. I want everyone to know where they can come get you.
So right now, pretty much most active on LinkedIn and Twitter. So you can find me at Mike Grantis on LinkedIn, and then I believe it's Mike Contango on Twitter. Or if you'd like to just reach out to me directly, you can find me at mike@contango.digital. That's my email.
I love it, man. I'll probably put you, well, obviously I'll tag you in all this so people can find you there as well. Mike, thank you so much for coming on. I feel like, having someone who's not directly in the real estate space come on and, interact with my audience is great, because, you get a little bit different perspective, but some of those fundamentals of, growing business, growth mindset and all that stuff is the same. So I really appreciate you coming on. Anything else you wanted to add before I let you go?
No, man, Isaiah, it was my pleasure. Thank you so much for reaching out. Really love to do this. We could do this, once a month if you'd like. I'd love to just do a check-in with you. And can't wait to see you at the Laurier reunion, my man.
Oh, you know it, brother. All right, man. That's Mike. That's Isaiah, First Position Real Estate. Thanks so much for Mike. And everyone, we'll see you guys later. Have a good one.
Cheers.